guys, you join me at Peckham, and I've got a requested video to show you what duty cards and duty log cards are like. So yeah, let's have a look. So this is my duty for today. We're on duty number 4536, and this is what they look like. Obviously I'll go into more detail in just a second, but I'll give you like just a wide shot of what they look like. Okay, and this is what a log card looks like. So it basically, you just log the destinations you go to and all that stuff, but I'll go into more detail. I just thought I'd give you a bit of a wide shot of it first. So let's go through it. So you got the top, it says Stagecoach London, which is obviously the company that I work for, and then it says Monday to Thursday just here, and obviously that means it's the type of service. So it's a Monday to Thursday service. You then have a Friday service and Saturday and Sunday service. This is when the duty was issued, so the 23rd of the 7th 2016, and then here I think it's the issue number, which will be issue 3. PD stands for Plumstead, so that's the garage, and that's your duty number right there. So mine's 4536. So then here you got sign on to sign off. So I signed on today at 15:32, and I sign off at basically 1 o'clock in the morning. And then you got your relief period, so that's your break. So mine's 1918 till 809. And then it says this: high frequency route, maintain headway at all times. So there's two types of routes in London. There is high frequency and low frequency. High frequency is all about a headway, and low frequency is all about sticking to the timetable. So in my case, it's just about keeping an even gap between me and the bus in front. So the 177s operate around a 10-minute service, so we have to keep 10 minutes apart. So you got the running number here. So the running number on this bus is 135. So that is the bus. That's basically the bus number. Okay, and then obviously you see you've got 136. That's for the second half. So the next line you got the route number. Obviously 177. Pretty straightforward. And then you got the trip number. So the trip number obviously is the number of trips there are on a day. So I've just done trip number 145, and the next trip I'm doing is 154. And then you get to the bulk of it. So these obviously aren't all the bus stops that are on the route. These are what we call timing points. So the timing points are basically the key areas, the key bus stops rather, that you have to be on time for, and they're all listed here. So for example, I have to be at Thamesmead Boiler House by 16:30, so I have to depart at 16:30. Alright, so you have to depart these bus stops on time. And obviously, so you got the top bit here, which is obviously from Thamesmead to Peckham, and then the bottom half is Peckham to Thamesmead. So I started my day here at 15:42. I went from Plumstead Garage to Thamesmead, and then from Thamesmead to Peckham, and I'm doing Peckham to Thamesmead. So now this bit here, it says dead. So that means I'm out of service, and I'm running obviously from Thamesmead to the garage. So that's basically it. So this basically tells you your entire day on the bus. And you can see here it says iBus code. Now iBus code is 100. That basically is essentially the garage number. So it's just an easy way to determine what garage you're from. So now we get to the log card. So we'll start at the top. So it says Garage Plumstead, pretty straightforward. You got the route number. So it says it 3 times. So obviously you could do essentially 3 routes in one day, but obviously I've got a first half on the 177 and the second half on the 177. The vehicle number is the 5-digit number you'll see on the front of the bus, and it's also located, I don't know if you can see that, right there, 13074. Okay. And then you got the duty number up here, which is 4536. The date, pretty straightforward, and then your running numbers. Okay, so now you get to the main bulk. So you got your first half here and your second half here. So obviously on my first half, I departed Plumstead Garage at 15:50. Thamesmead, I got to Thamesmead at 16:16. Depart 16:23. Peckham 17:38, and I'm departing at 17:49, which at the time of recording this video is in 3 minutes time. So the bottom bit here, so this is when you put your lost mileage. So this could be down to diversions, being cut short, so terminating early basically. So we'll go through it. So you put the trip number that was affected, the running number you were on, and this is where you'd put a diversion reference, which you'll get from your controller. An accident, if you had an accident, that's where you'd put your reference number for the accident. And an occurrence report is something like a passenger thrown up on a bus or something like that. Then you have to determine whether it's a return or if it's a single journey. So if it's affecting the journey, if it's affecting the next journey that you're doing. Yeah, so sorry about that, guys. I had my controller calling me up. So where was I? So I'll go through it again. So obviously this is where you put all the lost mileage in here. So you put your trip number there, the trip that was affected, the running number, and then obviously if you're on diversion, your controller will give you a reference number. Occurrence is stuff like people thrown up on your bus. You'd put a reference number, so you have to fill in a form for that. Then you got your accident report reference number you put in there if you had an accident. So if it's a return or single journey, so basically what that means is the next trip going to be affected, you know, by you terminating early, for example, or if someone thrown up on your bus, is that going to affect your next journey, which of course it would. And then you put your calls code. Now your call, I don't remember them off the top of my head. I only know 2 of them. Code 1 is traffic, code 2 is staff related, and I think code 5 is mechanical. So you'd put like code 1 or code. So for example, if you're on diversion, no, sorry, if you are terminating early, you know, that's normally down to traffic. So you'd put code 1 in there, and then obviously put traffic. So you just write number 1 and then put traffic. And then the next bit on here is journey or part journey lost. So if you're terminating early, you'd put where you're terminating from, and then so basically if you terminate a Plumstead, so it's really hard to explain. If you're terminating a Plumstead garage, right, and obviously you're normally going to Thamesmead, you'd put the journey lost is Plumstead bus garage to Thamesmead. And then because you're terminating early, your controller will give you a reference number. So a reference number could be, say, S for Sierra 16. That goes in the top half, and then in the bottom half it'll be over 1. So that's down to traffic. So that's that bit. I hope that explains it a little bit. It's quite complicated to explain. But the top line here is obviously you put your staff details. So you put your name and your badge number, and obviously this if there was a conductor, which obviously there isn't anymore, but he'd put his ticket machine number in there. So the next bit is substitutions and backplating details. So we'll start with substitution. So that's if you get a replacement bus. So if your bus breaks down and then an engineer will bring a bus out for you, you'd put the time the bus arrived, the place it arrived, and the number of the bus. So that'll be the 5-digit number. Backplating. So for example, if you break down at either end, sorry about that, guys. I've got the controller going off again. But backplating is basically if you break down at either end of the route. So for me, I'm the 177. So if I broke down either Peckham or Thamesmead, the controller may ring you back and say we need you to backplate. And what that means is that the yellow card that's in the front window, which is a 3-digit card, I'll try and remember to put a photo of it on screen for you. But basically, you take that card, and you then go when the next driver arrives, you go to his bus and you basically nick his bus. And you use his bus, and then the driver of that bus comes off, and then he will then take his card, and then when the next bus arrives, he'll then take that bus, and so on and so forth. So that normally happens at either end of the route. You can't really do it obviously if you break down on the road. Here it's easier. So you'd put the time, the place, and the replacement number. And here it says ticket/oyster reader changed. So obviously if you got a replacement oyster reader or a ticket machine, you'd put obviously yes or no there. So MDT or Etm faults. So the MDT is this thing right here, and I'll try and do a video on this, kind of showcasing what it does and all the buttons and everything. But basically you put in here if the MDT fails. MDT stands for mobile data terminal. So if it fails, so for example, I think you've got some examples here. So it resets, or it's frozen, it goes into fallback mode, which basically means you have no radio communication with your personal controller. If it logs off on its own, or if the trip number doesn't change, you need to put it in here. So again, you put the trip number, and from the time from the time the error occurred to the time it's fixed, and you obviously put down the fault. This is all done. This all needs to be done for obviously mileage reasons, because you know, because obviously we get docked, we can get fined from TfL if obviously we're doing mileage which doesn't include obviously like passengers. But that's basically it. That's basically what it is. So obviously I'll do a little big view there. I'll do another one here for you so you can kind of see it in its full. So obviously it's been more updated since I last did this video. It was daytime when I did this video, but the controller called up and it all went a bit hectic, so obviously I had to leave the video. But this is kind of what it looks like. So once you finish your first half, you know, obviously I put PD because I took the bus back to the garage, the time I came off, and the finish time that I finished driving, you know. So obviously on the second half now, so obviously I left Plumstead at 2014, right after 2021. I need to fill in that because I forgot to do that. But it'll be 2021 as well, so that's something I need to just quickly correct. And obviously I got to Peckham at 21:19 and I'm departing at 21:38, which is in about 8 minutes time. So that's the duty log cards, and this is obviously the duty card itself. But yeah guys, I hope that answers some of your questions. If you have any more questions, obviously leave a comment and I'll try and answer them as best I can. But yeah, I hope that's kind of answered the main questions you have about what it looks like, you know, how do we record our trips and all that stuff. So I hope it's given you a little bit of insight. Obviously I'll try and do videos on the ETM, which is obviously the ticket machine, and the MDT, like kind of showing what it does, what we can do with it, and stuff like that. But yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed. Please leave a like, please subscribe, and obviously if you have any more questions, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll try and answer them as best I can. But yeah, I'll take care guys. I hope you have a great evening.